Hello friends, in this video we are going to see and understand the file pointers in C. We will go through the program which will give us step by step understanding of the various pointer functions in C. Whenever a file is opened for read or write operation, there is a buffer created or a block of memory is created in the memory of the PC which is accessible to C program. When in effect we do what we do when we read data from the disk or write data to the disk, all the data is copied to this buffer and a pointer is set to the first character in the buffer, which is actually a first character of the file. This pointer becomes available to a programmer for navigating through the file. When we navigate through the buffer, in effect what we are doing is we will be navigating through the file. There are many functions in C such as ftell, mgetPos. These are the two functions which will return the current position of the pointer. Then there are fseek, fsetPos functions which move the pointer from one location to another. Then there are macros seeker, seekend, seeksend, seekset. These macros move the pointer through the program instruction using the program instructions. We will see how these functions and macros are used for navigating through file using the pointer. We will go through a program and that program will demonstrate and explain the functions and macros related to file pointers. So there is a program in which we have declared a structure named struct bank having three elements or three members. One is a string named name, another is a string named account underscore no, and then there is an int variable which is a part of the structure, which is a member of the structure named balance. Let us know that the structure we had declared outside main so that it can be made available to all the functions if we are going to use in this program the functions which will create for the in the program. Actually in this program we are not going to create any function, but however it is always a good practice to declare a struct variable or the structure outside the main so that it becomes global. It's available to all the functions if there are any in the program. Then we start with the main function with few variables declared, char name, then int variable named rect size, then a structure variable called struct bank b, and then we assign to the int variable rect size the size in bytes of the structure variable b by this function size of. Now we go for our program through which we will modify the content of the file. Declared a file pointer fs, and the already available file mybank.dat is opened in a RB plus mode. R stands for read, B for binary. This plus RB plus mode allows us to read and write the file at the same time. Only R will allow us without plus sign to read the file only. R plus allows us to read and write to the file, and this B stands for binary file. What we are going to do is mybank.dat is a binary file. Then we are going to see what is the data that has been available in the file by this function fread %b size of b 1 fs is equal to 1, and this printf statement outputs the data read by the function fread from the file. Then we take the pointer position by using the function ftell. Please note ftell returns a long int when it is executed. How we are using the function ftell? Ftell into the parenthesis the file pointer fs, which we have declared here while opening the file. Then there is another function we are using, which is rewind fs. What this function does is it brings the pointer to the beginning of the file, to the first location of the file or the first location of the buffer which is holding the data related to mybank.dat file. When we read this file, the pointer moves to the last element of the file, last entry of the file, or last record of the file. Now what we are doing through rewind function, we are bringing the pointer back to the 0th position of the file. The rewind function returns a long int as a value. Now we can see this is the snapshot or the screenshot of the program output. The file contains 5 records. One is named AAA, then there is a 11111 as the ID of that particular record, and there is a balance of 1234 in account named as AAA. Similarly, there is another account or another record which represents the data of another person. In this whole program I have used this A, BBB, etc., not the actual names. So the second record is BBB, and this is the ID of that account 22222, and the balance in that account is 21,000, 21000. Similarly, there are other records CCC, DTD, EE, etc. Now this pointer position, file pointer position, is equal to 260. This is the output which we get after the function ftell is executed. So what this printf function does is it gives us the current position of the pointer, of the file pointer, which we see it is as a location number 260. Then we rewind the file, which causes the pointer reset and go to the 0th location of the file buffer, and that location, this ftell fs file pointer position after rewind, that is given to us by using the function ftell again, and we get the output as 0 after execution of this second ftell function, second instance of the ftell function after the file is rewound. Then we prompt the user to name the the account which he wants to modify, and that name entered by the user or supplied by the user is assigned to the string called name, which is a part of main program declaration. See, this is b.name, which is a member of structure structure bank, and this name is a different entity from this name, as this name is a part of main. Then what we need to do is, whatever is the name of the account that has been entered by the user, we have to locate that account in the file, and for this we use this function fread again after rewinding the file. So this fread will again start reading the data from the beginning of the file. What we do in this is we compare the name given by the user for modifying the data which he wants to do with the name that is available in the file. In this case, what we are doing is we are asking user to enter the data such as account name, account number and balance to modify the record, and we assign these values to a structure variable called b.name, b.account underscore no and ampersand b.balance. So whatever is the data entered by user has been captured in the record named B, and into the individual elements of that record named having name as name b.name, then b.account underscore no and b.balance. When these records match, when there is a string compare b.name and name evaluates to 0, what we know is we have found the record which has a name given by the user, and when this record is found in the file, we come out of the while loop by terminating that loop using break as the statement. So when after this block is executed, the while block is executed, what we already have is the record of interest which has been entered by the user in this printf statement enter name to modify the account. Now what we have to do is we have to take the pointer back to the record which we want to modify. So when we come out of the loop, the pointer has already moved to the next record. Now in our case, it will be pointing to the record named CCCCC, but we want to modify the record and bring back the pointer to the record named BBBBB, and that is why what we do is use this fseek function, which causes pointer to move from the in the file fs related to file fs by how much bytes? By the record side bytes. From where? From the current pointer position. So after fseek executes, our pointer moves to the record BBB, which actually was currently at the position of the record in the file named CCCCC. Then we write the new data into this record using fwrite function ampersand b. B is already holding the data of interest entered by the user. So that data will be written into the buffer for the record named BBBBB. Then we rewind the file again. We bring the pointer back to its 0 position, and again read the file from beginning to check whether the data has already been modified or not. Then what we do, when this fread executes and while loop is terminated, after giving out the values by this printf statement, the pointer has moved to the last record of the file. Now what we are trying to do is, we want to move the pointer 3 records backwards. That is, from the end of the file, we want to move the pointer to a record which is third from the end. So this seek end, here we are used seeker, the current position of the pointer. Here we are using seek end because the pointer has already reached the end of the file, and from the end of the file we want to move the pointer 3 records into the file. So this fseek, this minus sign, it causes the pointer to move by the bytes regarding bytes available for each record. So rec size give the memory bytes or the size of the record, one record, minus 3 into one record, which will take the pointer from the current position of its end position of the file to the third record prior to the file end. Then we again read the record, whether whatever is that record is showing us. And then we display the record on the monitor screen by using this printf statement. Then we again go for rewind function. So it again takes back the pointer to the beginning of the file. Then what we do is, the pointer is pointing at the 0th position, which in our file is a record named AAA. Now we again use the fseek function to move the pointer 1 record ahead by this fseek function using seek set macro. And how much we are moving it from the seek set, when the pointer is at the beginning of the file, we use seek set, and we give how much memory locations it has to move. We want to move it by 1 record size. So when the pointer is rewind, when we use rewind function, the pointer is pointing to 0th record in the file, which is we have named as AAA. By this seek set rect size seek set function, what pointer does is it moves one record ahead. Again we read that fread, by using fread, whatever is the record available at the pointer position which has been set by this fseek function, fseek rect size seek underscore set. And then we close the file. So what fseek function needs is first the file pointer on which we have to operate, or which is the file which is open currently. The second position is the offset. Rect size gives us the number of bytes which we want to move pointer from where. By seek underscore end macro, the pointer will move by the offset which we give in the fseek function. It will move the pointer from end position to the required position which we give as a value of offset in the fseek function. In seeker, this offset gives us the movement of pointer from the current position of it in the file to the desired position or desired number of bytes or the desired location denoted by this offset, which we have given as rect size. By this minus sign moves the pointer prior to the current record. If it would have been plus, or if there is no sign, that would have moved the pointer one record ahead of current position. So this is the output we got after executing this program. Enter name to modify the account. We have given BB as the name. Now we want to modify this record, so the program asks us to tell us what modified data we have to use for modifying the record. We use the same name, same account number, and only the balance we change from earlier 21,000 to 2100. Then we take the fread function which gives us the values of the records from the beginning of the file to the end of the file. So all records are made available to us as are displayed for us, and now we can see the record which we wanted to modify. We have modified its balance from 21,000 earlier to 2100 now. By this seek end, after executing the fseek function, this fseek using macro seek end, we have moved the pointer to position 3 positions or 3 records from the end. So now we are what this fread statement displays, the position desired by us, which is CCC and all these data. Then what we have done is, from seek end, when the pointer has moved to record CCCC, we have again given used a function rewind, so that we reposition the function the pointer to the beginning of the file, and then we use another third macro seek underscore set for reading the data from the record, which is rec size bytes after the beginning of the file. In this way, we can navigate through the file, modify the file records, and use the various functions related to file movement, the pointer movement in the file. So thank you very much for your attention. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Programming in C with RSK, the idea of which is given here. Thank you very much.